On our way back to the house, had some running around and some errands to do. Had a long discussion with Amy. Tally the Tab had a bit of a rough ride down to New York. The shipper had called me and said for 5 hours she was fine, and then the last hour and a half of the ship, it's a 6.5 hour drive obviously, he said she was rocking the trailer pretty good, rubbed up her hip a little bit, so I was concerned she tied up. We'd drawn some blood on her, and Jason had just told me that her AST-CK, everything was fine with her. It was high normal, which is fine considering it was probably on its way down, so there's no concerns with respect to her racing tonight. I talked to Matt Kakali on the phone a little bit just to talk about the filly herself. I said she's a kitten to drive, except going up to the gate. You know, I don't know if you got a minute to watch a couple of races, but you got to feed her into that car. You can't get her up on top of the gate. She can and will make a break if you do. So, that was done. Now, before that, we had a number of trainers, namely, I'll send some videos out this morning, or this afternoon also. Perfect Thought trained unbelievably good today, as you can imagine. Jason had called me this morning and said, you want to train her today instead of tomorrow because it's going to rain tomorrow. Good thinking, Jason. So we trained her this morning, and he had showed me her blood, called me, told me about her blood. We were talking, he said her blood is perfect. All muscle counts are perfect, no anomalies to speak of. So Dr. Latessa is on the ball as usual there. Now, a lot of people asking, where are the next starts for a lot of horses? We're going to go over some of those horses. I want to give everybody a full update of the burn, the babies in particular, what they're doing. I know we just watched 2 qualifiers. James called me, you know, all upset. He said, I'm really sorry. I don't know what was going on with the horses today. He said, you know, Frolic was on the right line, but she trots good running in. When she gets out, that's when she gets out of gear. We added some gear, and she kind of got away from it, got running in the whole way. She ended up beating second, which you never want to see, but at the same time, it is what it is. And then Miss Shazam was a beaten third. I had said to James, you know, I think the one thing James said, he said they drew 3 bloods 5 days ago, and all 3 bloods, the differentials were flipped. Now, if you're horsemen out there, you know what I'm talking about, the differentials on the breakdown lymphocytes, monocytes. You'll see the DIFF above all that. Now, I'm not a scientist or a doctor. I can only read this stuff, right? All I know is that when the bottom number is higher than the top number, it's a problem. And when it's like 39, 58, 9, it's a real problem. The horses seem flat and are dead. And I said to James, you know, we generally over here, it'll happen from time, especially with babies. It will happen. We usually put them on X-Stem. And he said, well, the X-Stem kind of knocks them for a loop sometimes. I said, well, my understanding is that's the whole point. Kind of shocks their system, reboots it, so to speak. I believe that's a very layman way of putting. I don't know how any of the medicine works in it, but that's the end result, I believe, is a lot of the times, sometimes it can spike a mild temperature. They seem very lethargic the next couple of days, but then spring back to life. And that's kind of how that's how I perceive it, how I see it when the X-Stem is given to the horses. So I guess in regard, I said, yes, they can. But I believe that what you're seeing is, you know, that body kind of resetting. It was my take. Again, if you're a doctor out there saying, listen to this idiot, sorry about that. As a horseman, that's how I perceive it. So now, was that the case with Miss Shazam? Was that the case with Frolic? I don't know, but I did tell James, if you want to put them in, now we're not bringing Frolic to New Jersey until she's ready to rock, right? Didn't look ready to rock today. So I told him, if there's racing for them in, let's say, 10 or 12, 14 days, 4 days out, 5 days out, hook them in the bike and train them hard if they can take it. Now, if you're telling me Miss Shazam's little Peggy up front, fine. You're going to have to race her into shape. You're going to have to do what James does best. Run them up the inside, squeeze her through until she's tight and strong. But if those fillies are sound and feeling good, hook them in the bike and train them hard. And this comes back to what I'd always said. You're athletes. You got to stretch them out. Nobody leaves the gym on leg day saying, my legs feel awesome right now. So good. Yes? Are you stretching? You asking? No, you're not singing songs. That's karaoke videos. We're doing those another day.
No, it's from my cabin.
I don't come with a karaoke. It's from your bedroom. Turkey. So that was my take on those 2 horses, right? These are 2 big, strong fillies If they're sound, horses shouldn't be trotting by them at the wire. So if it was their differential was flipped, now we haven't scoped them again, drew blood on them, we have to do all that. Somebody says, well, it just seems like we these horses look so good, and then they just fall flat. Welcome to horse racing. That's what happens. Every stable is the same. We all think we have good horses, we all think we have okay horses, and we all think we have bad horses. And no one really knows until they get behind the starting gate. No one. I don't care who you are. Somebody tells you differently, they're either lying or naive, one or the other. You have an idea. If you have a really great horse, at no point did Brent McGrath ever think Sun Beach Somewhere wasn't a killer. I can assure you of that. So take that with a grain of salt. Right? We all, but when it comes to the average, mortal horses, not the superhuman horses, not the ones that are world champions, just the everyday, real good horses. At no point did anybody think Lou Armstrong was capable or able to go out and qualify in 56, come 28 seconds, last half 56. No one did. Not until last week, and I was the first one to know, and I knew before you, and none of you knew. Could have thought it, could have hoped it, could have liked it, could have said, oh, absolutely, I think he can. Oh, cool. But you didn't know. Nobody knew about Complete Unknown, because I didn't know. Miss Lady May, nobody knew she'd behave yesterday. I didn't 2 days ago. Even I didn't know. I'm shocked. I have the video of the glasses. Again, I'll post that for you also. You can see in the mile, you can hear it in my voice. I am surprised that she isn't out of her mind. And actually, Tyler come up to me and say, hey, I meant to tell you that Miss Lady May, she was really quiet today. All right. So she went from complete psycho to what? I don't know what to tell you. But there's another side of that coin too, right? Horses we thought were going to be good. I would have bet you good money that Cirrus was a quality 2-year-old. I just haven't seen it yet. We always talk about the ceiling, and it hit Cover My Short squarely in the ears yesterday. I guess God just didn't make him a good enough horse. Now again, we have to wait for the blood work. We have to turn over all those stones, but certainly didn't strike me as a horse that was going to wow anybody this year. Right? This is Heartbreak Alley. That's what we're in right now. From the last training miles to their first races, that's what we're in right now. So I want to talk about how the horses did today. Perfect Thought was amazing. An amazing filly. Trained so good. I think we went a mile 55 and 3 off half in like a minute. Wrapped up, just so good. She'll race, as I said in another video, she'll race next Friday at Scioto Downs. Now I'll be in New Jersey. Probably Brad or Luke Hanners or somebody will get the drive on Perfect Thought. Again, this is just a race to put her in as we prep her for her New Jersey starts that are coming up. A couple of New Jersey starts. Then we have the Adios Polo. We have I'll drop the exact calendar for her. But we also have the Jugette for her New Jersey Classic. And somewhere down there's a race on Hippo Day also, if I'm not mistaken. That was brought to us by David Bolus. It sent me a message, said, hey, have you checked into this race? I did not. So thank you, David. Trained Spring Ice today in the bike. 2.7, last half in 1.1. He was not bad. Not bad. Now, I did have an update in an earlier video. We initially put 8 horses in Barcelona Mickey's Spring Ice, where both those going to the fairs. We're not going with them now. Spring Ice coughed a little bit a couple of days ago, so I wanted to train him before we put him in. And honestly, the deciding factor was we ended up putting the horses in Sunday, and they ended up coming out racing for $3,500. I was hopeful it would be $5,200, $5,300, maybe $6,000, maybe a little more. But in this particular fair in Marion, it was $3,500. So not inspiring, especially when they write a maiden class for $9,000 for those pacers and trotters on Wednesday. So a little different for Tomboy Strong and Uncle Danny Superbike. Those horses obviously don't fit the 2-year-old races, but the 2-year-olds do. So we opted for Barcelona Mickey in the overnight maiden on Wednesday. He will get in. If they split it, Spring Ice will be available to race, but I'm actually hoping they don't. And I'll tell you why. because I think Dr. Latessa is going to have to do some work in his hind ankles. I know his current caretaker, Scott, is doing a good job on the horse. And he said, when we put a light blister on that horse the last 2 or 3 times, his hind ankles blew up more than the rest of them. And quite frankly, the right one more than the left one. And that's what I saw today. Over on the left shaft. Once you got him up into gear, he was okay. A little rickety in the corners. You don't often see hind ankles bothering 2-year-olds, but it can happen. So Dr. Latessa, he's going to do a little bit of work on Perfect Thought, I think, or at least go over her tomorrow. Nothing. She's just going to have a little checkup with Dr. Mike. Just to see. And then we're going to bring Spring Ice over also to have a little checkup, just to see. And I trained Don't Ask Again and Cherry's Girl today. Tyler went with Cherry's Girl. I went with Don't Ask Again. They both looked very good training. I have a glasses video of all 3 of those miles I'll send to you today. I have some glasses videos from this week also I'll send out to you. My apologies for not getting them out. It's just been a bit of a whirlwind last 96 hours or so. And today is the first day where I actually get a chance just to catch my breath. Now, update you were looking for. Now, I have an update list. Yes, honey.
How long is this video?
Why, is there a problem? I don't know, but you just wasted 20 seconds or so asking me. Don't know. So I want to give you guys an update on some of the horses, what they're doing, what they're up to, what my thoughts were on them. What I also have is a list of horses that have been extremely impressive to me. Now, when I see Cirrus come out flat, when I see Cover My Short come out flat, when I watch the qualifiers today, you're left scratching your head and wondering, what's what? Or what are we doing here? Are these horses? What are my thoughts on them? So I'm going to give you my thoughts on some of the horses that maybe PJ's loving made a break this week. What does that mean? What do you think about that? But then I wanted to take a minute to talk about some of the older horses that are impressive. And the reason I did that was I wanted to take a look at the whole stable. Just say, okay, so we have, 50, 60, 70 horses racing right now, or about to race. How many of these horses are true, gritty, quality animals? I'm pretty happy. I think I got to number 17. 1, 2. And I had to take out horses that I believe will be good. I believe Frolic will come forward, but I can't put her on that list. I believe Caveman Pioneer is going to be a very nice horse because James continues to tout him. I haven't seen him do it yet. Proud or Nada. I know she's a good filly, and I know when your GGT gets down, you're going to see that. I haven't seen it yet. Judy's Money in the 3-year-old division got beaten a Buckeye the other day. Also trotted in 55 the week before that. Is she going to hit a consistent good stride soon? Hope so. Leland Hanover's been good, not a stake horse, but a really good overnight horse. He's picked to win on Sunday off 2 weeks also. My name's Swaney. Where'd that mile come from? 52. Man, oh man. Again, not a stake filly though, but a really quality overnight horse. Now, if they were to have a stallion series next week at the Meadows for 3-year-old pacing fillies, I would certainly be tempted to let her rattle, just because she looked so good the other day. But again, the non-winners a 2 but 4 overnight crew compared to your stallion stake division is quite a contrast. So I think that's worth noting also. So let's get right to some of the updates. Atomic Hanover, Complete Unknown, both look fantastic. As I said the other day, had I had any inclination at all that these two would get in together, Atomic Hanover would not have left the East Coast. He would have just raced at the Meadowlands or raced at the Poconos or Philadelphia. I just felt like his first start was going to be in the Meadows. He's done what I asked him to do. I think it was a huge success taking him to the East Coast. Let's get him back here. I'm thinking 2-3 divisions. Easy. Instead, him and Complete Unknown end up together, which I hate. Hate racing our horses together.
Why?
Just because you're racing for half the purse and you're competing against your own stable horses. I don't like doing that.
Oh, yeah, that... I don't like that.
Oh, you don't like that either? Yeah, okay. But they are going to compete together tomorrow. Tyler's going to drive Complete Unknown. Somebody said, why Tyler? Tyler sat behind him 20 times. Why not Tyler? I know there's a lot of guys out there. And I'm sure this hurts Tyler's feelings sometimes when I say this. But there are guys out there that would rather Tyler not drive the horses. Tyler's a young kid. And I remember what it was like to be a young kid. Just hoping that you picked up that condition sheet and somebody put you on a horse with some pop. Somebody put you on some power. And time after time after time again, they didn't. Do you know the first guy to ever give me a quality overnight horse to drive? Now, when I was a kid, I'm racing in Belleville. Any horse with a heartbeat and 4 sound legs was considered a pretty good pickup. Paul McDonnell's dad, Blaze McDonnell, was the first guy to give me an opportunity to drive horses that were supposed to win. Not a lot, 1 or 2 every week. But I was very grateful for that. And I never forgot it. I never will forget it. And Tyler's much further down the road than I was at that point. I was just literally a kid with his license. Tyler's driven a lot of good horses, but Tyler just needs the same chance everybody else does. Be put in a situation to succeed, and eventually you'll figure out how. Right? And smart kid, has learned a lot. He's a real likable guy, and he's a good worker. We tease him and stuff for not being that way, but he is. We opted not to bring Roser and Chief to the fair. Also, we're going to race him in the Maiden on Wednesday. And Tyler's driving him because he loves driving him, and he's driven him most of his life. And he was the first one that said it. He goes, I'll go to the fair and drive him. And that's why he's driving him Wednesday, too. Like guys that want to help out, right? People that want to go that extra mile. We're very, very fortunate to have a lot of people surround us that do that very thing. And I just think to not give a kid like him a chance would be unfair, unjust. And I hope everybody understands that. I know when you're home and listen, I can drive horses bad too, so I know the feeling. But if you get a steer that looks a little subpar, I know it's easy to take a shot at people, but at the end of the day, everybody is doing the best they can with our horses and any other horses they drive. So I think Tyler deserves a chance, and I'm going to try and give him as many chances as I can. And it wouldn't shock me at all if he run me down with Atomic Sound, or run me down with that little colt. He's I was going to say big, but he's not big. He's tiny. He's like somebody jammed a Clydesdale, a fast one, into this little body. He's a nice colt, and we're going to have a lot of fun with him, both these colts. Atomic Sanover's already proved, the other day I was surprised. That half in 55 was surprising to me. Have him draw off on horses and pace hard through the wire. Been waiting a long time to see this horse do this. He looks great. Amy's done a great job with him. Everybody that took care of Michelle took care of him before. And the work you see on the track is a direct result of the work in the barn. And all the caretakers deserve a shout out whenever they can also. They can't all be great horses. We learn that every year. But we got some good ones. So Atomic Sanover complete unknown race together. Barcelona Mickey, as I said, he's going to race Wednesday. He's not going to the fair right up until this morning. We just decided that if the 2-year-old race is going to fill for 9,000, we should be a part of that. And that's exactly why Barcelona Mickey is racing on Wednesday. Boitano, yes, his blood was good. But again, went from the fairs 212, 2-6. We had this Cinderella feeling, oh my God, he's going to go out and win in 57. I thought it. I bought into it. Going to the gate. I left out of there. I'm in a good spot. I'm going to be first or second. Halfway down the backstretch, oh my God, he's all out of gas. He can go back to the fairs and do good. I'll tell you the one thing he has going for him, he's got a great attitude, he's got a good work ethic, and he's got a lot of body to grow into. He's this little tiny horse, but his frame is much bigger. He's a likable horse. He's going to do lots of good for us. And he'll get his shot again for some speed later on in Lexington, but for right now, we'll catch the last 2 fairs in the fair final at Lexington with him. Actually, the last fair is at Lexington. The one before that is at High Bramble, the new training center in, I think it's in Paris, Kentucky, isn't it? So Boitano back to the fairs. Nothing wrong with that. Bulldog Bell. Somebody said, what's a Bulldog Bell? Bulldog Bell used to be Who Let the Dogs Out, SGT. We changed your name.
Daddy already said this.
I said it in another video. Thank you for that. I don't need any commentary, okay, bud? Bulldog Bell will qualify next week. I know James is frustrated a little bit when the horses qualify a little flat, and I told him if their differentials are flipped, they will be no good. It's much like their GGTs. When they're up, they might seem good, they might seem sharp, but at the end of the mile, you're going to see the difference, and they are going to suck, some of them. Prada Renata was always a gifted filly for us, and she looked abnormally ordinary the other day. And that's at high GGT. Hers was 3 times the limit. So Bulldog Bell is ready to go, though. Trained in 2 minutes, last quarter in 28 seconds the other day. She'll be ready to go next week in her qualifier. Bella Dale, you saw the qualifier. I was surprised. Not very many people objected to putting Dublin Sforani in the next generation. I made a very good case for that, I think. And a few people did object to not putting Bella Dale in. What? Bella Dale qualified awesome. She couldn't have done anything more than I wanted her to yesterday. It's not what she did, it's how she did it. Her body language, her confidence, I could feel it in the lines. Speed is there, it's undeniable. She's just a couple of weeks from being that horse. Now, to be fair, when I was floating the idea of not going, I did believe that Ronnie Gillespie's filly was Ohio, Kentucky. I forgot that Pebble Beach is next year Ohio. This year, just Kentucky. Now, does that change it? It might change it a bit. But I did put the spot up for sale on Preferred. And if you're out there and you have a filly you want to race in the next generation, we do potentially have a spot for sale. It's obviously time sensitive. It's next Saturday. Caveman Pioneer qualifies tomorrow, and I know James's confidence a little shaky. I told him, if the differentials are flipped, you can only expect so much. If they're not flipped, flip them in the bike and train them up hard. Right? They're here now. There's, it's nice to protect the horses for their entire life, soundness-wise, but if you never stretch them, if you never put them in harm's way, you're never going to get there. And I think that's where we're at now, and that's the difference between the last month is the difference. And there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, you have a long stake season. Frolic and even Miss Shazam. Those horses will get to where they need to be. They just aren't going to come out of the gate like Lou Armstrong, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Chips Ahoy Hanover was good yesterday. Ducked off that track. You can tell why. He's done it a million times. Go back and watch his videos. I should have known better. He just caught me off guard because it was the last pylon of the race. I could feel him leaking in. When I tapped him that last time on the outside, shoo, he just took off to the left. I got to be aware of that, though. Could have been a Canada Goose or something in there. I would have cleaned him out. Dublin Sforani raced great, qualified great. She is headed to the next gen. I had great conversation with both Jasons today. He said, "You think she's good enough?" I said, "Are they going 55? Nope. But we get a couple of breakers, get a couple of softies up front, catch a couple of breaks in the mile. Wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all if she got there. She's tenacious and she is dialed in. The very reason I don't want to take Bella Dale is the very reason I want to take Dublin Sforani. Dublin Sforani is screwed down tight. She is at 102%. She is ready to rock and understands her work. Bella Dale's getting there. Getting there. Has nothing to do with speed. If it did, she'd be in for sure. Just has to do with readiness. Incredible. Scope 6, there was no shock as to why she didn't race good the other day. She'll come back and be fine next week. We'll talk about her in this other list I have. Kurt qualified good. Had a great talk with Stefan the other day. How good is he? No one knows. No one knows. 58 might be his ceiling. 57. He might go out and pace in 52 in 3 weeks. Who knows? But his qualifier was good yesterday. I was happy with his qualifier in particular. All right, wait.
I know.
Pull the garage up. That's a boy. We're going to clean the car out.
Garbage back here.
Yeah, and you have to help too. Don't tell your brother. You're going to help too. Okay. We'll got to finish my video first. Landlubber had hit his knee. They drained his knee, put a pressure bandage. Everything is going according to plan. Everything is going according to plan. Really happy with the way. Guys, go with the garbage can, please.
I know.
Okay. So Landlubber should be back rattling in another week or so. There was a setback, but if we shoe him right and have him right, it shouldn't make a difference. And I'd said to James, I know they never thought about it over there. We can get back to training, and when we do train him on the gallop. The horses that hit their knees, when you gallop them, they don't hit their knees. It's easier on them. That's what I'd like to do with him. Make sure he's good. Making Green will be ready to go next week. James trained him 2-1, 2-2. He thought he looked very good the other day. He did put the hobbles on him though, which is fine. I'm not gonna twist my arm. Miss Shazam, a little flat today, admittedly, but again, as I said to James, if that differential was flipped, you can't ask them to be any better. It's just impossible. You're asking them to do something that they physically can't do. So the qualifier was okay. I saw some shares pop up for sale, for sale, for sale. Listen, just relax. We get the grassroots with the filly. She's going to be a decent filly. What happens with her after that, I don't know. We're going to find out together. Oh, he's going to water the flowers. Look, he must want something. He must want something, the boy, if he's going out of his way. He's watering the flowers and was not asked to. That never happens. Mordecai Hanover is training now, probably 2 weeks from the race bike, I'd imagine, 3 weeks. She's doing her work well. As I said to James and Dominic, don't just get her there right. You're not going to get it. You're not going to chance. She's not going to screw it up again. If she gets sore, if she becomes sore, cat took off on Addie. That's hilarious. She's going to be beside herself now. Look, Addie gets all upset when the cat gets out. Addie! She's on the other side now. She's gone. Where were we? Mordecai Hanover will be fine. As I said, we got her going in the right direction. Just be careful. Pilot Caviar's qualifier was good. 59, 57 and a piece on the end of it. That's what I wanted to see. She's on the other side. She caught a bird already. She's a hunter. Well, it's bad for the bird. So Pilot Caviar was good. I was really happy with Pilot Caviar. The line itself, like 7B or 4, whatever she got beat, that's not good. But if you look at the math compared to it, that's what I was looking to see, man. 2-6 at Northfield. It's hard when you have slow fractions. It's hard to get too excited about 2-6, even though I know she should be better. But that 59, last half 57, that's where I want to see her coming to. I want to see her coming to that. So I was happy in that regard. PJ's loving, disregard the break. I don't know what happened, but she's not a breaker. And as I said to Justin, that's why I bring the horses into the gate. I don't want them on the gate. I know all the catch drivers want to put their nose right on the car. It's the easiest thing to do. I want to bring them into position, right? Because you don't get to walk back that break. When they break, they break. It's done. And, with that particular filly, I know that Miss Lady May look fantastic, but I think if both fillies are at 100%, Miss Lady May is going to have her hands full with PJ's loving. Let's put it that way. That's my take on it anyway. No Free Ride is back jogging now, but again, probably going to train her a couple of times and pitch her out, right, for the rest of the summer. I want to make sure that her knees are filled in good, that she's feeling good and looking good, and then we'll probably give her some time off, bring her back. We are going to have a same thing we had last year and the year before, a contingency of horses that are ready to go in the fall and the winter. There's nothing wrong with that. Prada or not, I just got to get that GGT down and get her back in. You won't see her entered in to go anywhere until, and actually, we paid her into the fairs. So that High Bramble Mile Training Center, Lexington's track, we can use those fairs. Even though we can't race in the fair final, we can use those fairs as stepping stones to Lexington also. So although that path was not really illuminated for us at the start of the season, it certainly is a feather in our cap right now, I believe. And then we have Sunday Royale qualifying tomorrow. I expect a decent qualifier, but again, after watching today's qualifiers and knowing what James just told me about a number of the horses with their differentials being flipped, I have no idea what he's going to look like tomorrow. I hope he looks good. Sweet and Steady back from the field this week. We'll get her back going. She's going to miss the first part of the stake season, but there's lots of racing left in Ohio. Now, that was 30 minutes. Now I'm going to give you just a quick update of the horses that have impressed me so far. And there's a lot of them. Like, I have some of them X'd out. I can't put Caveman Pioneer in here, or Frolic Incredible, because they weren't that good this week. But I know that they will be. They've already come halves in 58. They've already trained in 2 minutes in 59. We already know they're good horses. I just don't know what extent. I'm going to quickly talk about them. You know what? Why don't we do like I do with the top 10? I'm going to talk about, these are all the horses that I feel are fairly talented horses in our barn. Now, I didn't put Neptune and those horses on here. I guess I could have. Caveman Pioneer, just need to see. Show me. Frolic, I know she's a good filly. Running in today, weak. The blood work, not perfect. I know she's going to come back fine. She still trotted, what, 2 minutes, 59 apiece. Incredible. Already came a half in 58 in her qualifier, 28 apiece, or 29 in the end. Has already shown talent. I'm not worried about Incredible. Just got to get her cleaned up. Making Green, waiting to see this horse that James keeps touting as one of the best horses that we have. Said he trained good the other day, 2-1 or 2-2. So he'll be into qualifying next week, I guess. Was the plan. Prado or not, as I said, I can't put her on the list, although she qualified in 59 and looked good with a high GGT nonetheless. Again, that mile the other day was less than impressive, let's say. Ollie, make sure you get the flowers, not your sister. Now I see why I grabbed the hose. A little bugger. Judy's Money, Leland Hanover, my name's Swaney. As I said at the start of this video, these are all horses that show talent, but are they very talented horses or just good overnight horses? So I left them off the list. Now I'm going to talk about the horses that are good. Atomic Hanover, 56, last half 55, showing some real speed. Can he get that down to 51, 52 and be a stake horse? I don't know. We're going to find out together, all of us. Complete unknown. It's not often you see a horse pace a half in 56, a quarter, and 27 at Northfield Park. Now, that's pretty rare. Not very often that will happen. He did. So we'll see how he races. Bella Dale's mile in 56 again. Great mile. I told you guys, somebody said, oh my God, she looked good. Yeah, she did. She's a little soft still. Running in, running out, touching the left wheel, touching the right wheel. That's all confidence stuff. And that's why I was advocating to not race her in the next generation, quite frankly. Dame Hanover. Made a break, hit her knee. Hold on. Ollie. You turn it off and it coils. Leave the nozzle on and let it fold up. Just throws it in the dirt. Throw it right in the dirt. Okie dokie. So, Dame Hanover touched that knee boot to come down. She made a break. 28-1 in the end of it again. You don't have to convince me of Dame Hanover. Very fast filly. Dublin's Ferrani. Last half 57 in a piece the other day. 58, something like that. It was just a really nice filly and going to continue to be a really nice filly for us. X-Ski already went a mile and 57. Amy said, you said she was flat. Do you not remember her GGT was 5 points higher than high normal? I said, I'm glad you watched my videos. Said I did forget that, by the way. So she'll be back to normal and ready to go for next week. Scott's going to go and train those horses tomorrow at the training center. I'm going to bring the garbage can out here. Tell the truth. When's the last time you saw a horse as talented as Lou Armstrong qualify and then race? You know, I said this at the start of this video or the other video, I can't remember now, but you know, I'm trying to think back how I felt about Osopine, how I felt about Jailbird Jog, Lawmaker, White Tiger, Tactical Mounds also. How I felt about these horses and how I felt about them after their first start. And quite frankly, I don't know that I've ever seen a horse more impressive than Lou Armstrong. Ollie, go away. No, just leave it the cat with it. Cat caught a bird. Pretty disgusting. I have not seen that cat does not go in that house with that bird, by the way. She's going to bury it. She's going to bury it in her belly is when she's going to bury it. Can't believe that cat, as fat as she is, caught a bird. Bird must have had a seizure flying by. Okay, you have to help clean out this car before you... Don't take any of those in yet.
What?
How is it you get filthy? Like, is there a way you just try and stay...
Plants?
Do you think I got filthy last night watering the plants? No. So Lou Armstrong, man alive, he is something else. Something else. I'm trying my hardest not to get over my skis with him and tell you about him, and then, we're all let down at some point. But just to see a horse that strong and that fast and carry his speed that far and just have fun. You want to know how much fun he was having? Watch his ears. The whole way. Just going like this. Halfway down the lane, his ears just like this. Pulling up, same way. He was just playing it. He is an incredibly talented animal. Miss Lady May, I thought she was going to maybe steal the show this week. Well, that didn't happen. But she certainly looked very good. Perfect Instead, I can't really talk about her, right? She was supposed to have an X there. She hasn't done it yet. A lot of people asking for updates on her. Listen, the update's simple. When she is 100% sound and ready to go, she'll go. This is a filly we paid into everything in Ohio and the Breeders' Crown. I don't regret that for a second. I want to make sure that we don't make any mistakes with this filly. Remember what I said in yesterday's video. You know, if it is bone bothering a horse, it's 4 to 6 weeks till it's healed in. I know, I broke my wrist. I know how long it takes. I'm sure you've broken bones. Doctor tells you the same thing. 4 to 6 weeks. She's doing her work well. She feels well. Just let her heal up. When she's 100%, we can ask her to rock. Can't ask her for that until she's ready. PJ's loving, as I said, very nice filly. You're going to see how nice she is next week. Is it next week? Yeah, it's next Wednesday. You're going to see how good she is next week. I was going to say, mark my words. I haven't sat behind her in a little bit. But I know how good she is and how good she's been. So I am going to say it. Mark my words. Superway. 2 qualifiers, 2 wins. Already shown a quarter in 27 and 4, a half in 57 and a piece. I think it's fair to say he's there, isn't he? Now he's just got to go out and trot about 53, 54. He's going to be a fun horse to race. He's a very likable horse and a very nice colt. And Woodmere Rocket. We don't hear enough about Woodmere Rocket, do we? He's racing tonight or tomorrow, one or the other. We're going to see soon. You're going to see how good he is. But he's certainly, I've heard from people on the East Coast telling me how good this colt looked. Not Jamie Smith, not our ownership group, just people that have nothing to do with him, messaging me to say you have a nice one here in the East Coast. So Jamie Smith obviously always, and I always knew, Jamie Smith's a tremendous horse person. Said he was a good colt. He's 100% right. He is a good colt. Now you look at some of the older horses. What about Degas? Might have been a little flat the other day, but she's already made $100,000, winning 53, trotted in 53 against the best horses in Kentucky. She's a nice filly. Jailbird Jog is going to race in the Hambo Oaks if everything continues the way it is. Perfect Thought. She just paced 148 and 2. She gets over the ground so fast. Trained her today, and again, I'll send you those videos of the glasses, but so fast. You know, we don't talk about some of the other horses, some of the could-be's. Solidarity was good the other day. Yes, he showed a couple of spots of blood. But again, he's been off 2 weeks. Or 2.5, maybe. No, he was coming in. Justin drove. Maybe it was 2 weeks. I don't know. But had the outside post also. Royal Flush Day, you forgot about him, didn't you? Winning 54 and 4, made a break on Justin, made a break on me. Coming to the half, he was not super comfortable. We did some work on him. He's going to qualify Tuesday at the Meadows. Arrowhead Hanover. We don't, again, the 4 and 5-year-olds, we don't talk a lot about them, right? Time is on my side. What about Bridgeover Broadway? You forgot about her? She still has more money made than anybody else in the stable. Oh, that's not true. Jailbird Jog has more made. That's true. Jailbird Jog has more made. No one else does, though. Not Time is on my side. Not Arrowhead Hanover. Not Degas. No one. Only Jailbird has more money made than Bridgeover Broadway, and she's been in the field for 3-4 weeks. So it's an exciting summer. We could talk about Chicago Hall, Nuclear, you know, Yo Mister actually has been sound. We didn't turn him out in the field. Jason said, why are we turning this horse out? I said, I thought he was a little rickety his last couple. He might just need some time. He said, Anthony, I just jogged the horse. He sound as $1. Oh, okay. Now, we didn't train him the bike today. It's going to rain tomorrow, so probably Monday or Tuesday we're going to let him rock. See how he actually feels. And if he has to go to the field, fine. We were a week and a half late getting him out there. No big deal. But it'll only be if he's 100% sound. Trosis still got to come in. You forgot about him. He's winning 51 in dead of winter. Anyway, I don't have to tell you. You guys are in the same barn I am, right? It's all our barn together. We have some very, very talented horses. And the reason I bring it up is because we have some horses that aren't very talented also, right? We have some horses that aren't super impressive. You know, there's only been a couple so far, to be honest, that have let me down at all. You know who they are. I've talked about them ad nauseum. Cirrus has let me down. Cover My Short has let me down. They're the only two really so far. Are you really let down by Boitano because he couldn't trot in 57? He won 2 fairs. What happens usually when you take a fair horse and race him against stake horses? Tell me what happens usually. That's what happened, oddly enough. Go back to the fairs. It's fine. Chips Ahoy Hanover certainly didn't let me down. Deadline, somebody said, why return? Just race him in a cheaper class. No, I'm not going to do that. I think there's some talent in there, and I know that he's a little pinchy. We're going to let him grow up and fill out. You got to remember that. Even if it comes to the point where you got to turn Frolic out. Those are horses that show talent and are big horses. Deadline's not as big as Frolic, obviously. But we're looking for the best form of every horse. Not the best form of that horse in June or July of their 2-year-old year necessarily. And it's important to remember that, right? It's important. We all get caught up in the moment. It's important just to take a step back and look at what we have. If I came to you today and said Frolic just needs a little time off, okay, so what? She's still the same horse she was. If she's not going to make a big dent in the Sire Stakes program at 2, is there a need to race her at 2? And don't read too much into that. I have every intention of racing her at 2. No, she was second in 59. I need her to trot in 56. So, is she 2 weeks from trotting in 56, or is she not going to trot in 56? I don't think either of those questions were answered today. Who else we got? Gypsy Boy still on the way? There's nothing wrong with Gypsy. He just didn't have stakes till September. He's on his way. History Hanover's on his way. Holding Pattern will qualify, I guess, next week. Why didn't he ever earn to qualify today? She'll qualify next week. Juju Me out in the field again. This is Juju B's sister. Just was not comfortable training down. Trotted okay. Money's tied up. Can't really give you an update on her. She looks good. She is jogging / training. Looking better. I did see a video of her the other day. No Free Ride. This affiliate, Jamestown, was one of the better ones in Ontario. Knees were bothering her a little bit. Had to take an OCD out of an ankle, or a hock. Both hocks, I think. So again, this is a horse that's going to spill over into November, December, January. Popular Expert. Haven't talked about him. 2-4 last half of a minute in his qualifier. He's going to be in to go Wednesday at Northfield Park. Be interested to see how he goes. St. Sarah's Sound. I had talked to... I'll tell you exactly how the conversation went today. Chuck, normal rider, good horse person. I'm off the track. I knew it was her. I said, hey, St. Sarah, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, was she sound? He looked at me like I was crazy. He goes, yeah. Okay. You don't... never mind. I'm glad to hear that. So and Dr. Latessa happened to be walking by. I said, hey, so the x-rays on St. Sarah. He goes... The first ones were she was a little off. It was a little inconclusive. There could have been a shadow there. It could have been turning into a line. We re-x-rayed her 2 weeks later. There was nothing there. The same shadow was there. Could have been a bruise. Could she kick the wall? Yes. He said, but every horse, we could x-ray every right hind sesamoid in this barn, and I might be able to find something in a few of them. He said, what's wrong with her? I said, nothing. Apparently she's sound. He said, why are you talking to me then? So, okay, I guess you're right. So St. Sarah's sound. She's going to continue back on her way to the races. She's got class, just a big growthy filly, back at her knees, had an OCD removed. You know, turn her out, let her grow up. Spring Ice is fine. And maybe do some bet work on those hind ankles. He trained good today. Stay Charming's getting close also. These horses are very close to being biked up. Stuntman, not so close, but still training. Somebody said, why are we still training him? You might remember, it is June of their 2-year-old year, right? This isn't an August conversation, but it is most definitely a June conversation. They don't need to be turned out just yet. Some take a little longer getting there. And if he needs turned out, fine. But again, that will be mid to end July into August. That conversation will take place then, not at the end of June. Sweet and Steady comes out of the field this week. Her knee was a little weak. One knee was a little weak looking. She'll be back going now. I fully expect she'll be ready to go by mid-August. I mean, she'll catch the last 2 Buckeyes. She'll race Jug Week. Fine with me. Travel Blog's sitting close to going in the race bike also. Fine Staff's going to the fair on Monday. What Houdini is going to the fair on Monday. What's the mystery? This is one of my favorite fillies training down. Just got big, growthy, sore, turned her out. There's nothing wrong with that. Willy Wide races Monday, I think. And Woodmere Rocket races today or tomorrow. So, there you have it. A full update, even twice in some cases, of all the horses, all the babies in the barn, what I think about them. Gave you a quick update about some of the talented horses in our barn. Because I like to take stock of that too. We put a lot of work in. And every barn wants to have a Perfect Thought, or a Jailbird Jogger, certainly a Lou Armstrong. But not everybody gets to have them, and I want to make sure if we're lucky enough to get these horses that we do absorb that sometimes. Take that into consideration. All the barns out there that are looking for a horse like this, and we're lucky enough to have them. So without you, that's not possible. I say that all the time. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the hard work from our caretakers and our trainers. And hopefully we can all enjoy the fruits of our labor this summer. All right? Take care, everybody. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. It's a beautiful day here. You know, I'd said to Ollie, this is a very, very rare night. I'm not racing. Might take in the Cleveland Guardians game, even though I got my Jays gear on. Thank you to Nick, who brought that over for the open house. Much appreciated. Nice shirt. Have lost 3 in a row, but hopefully we can turn that around tonight. Take care, everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend. Do your best to have a great weekend. I will talk to you soon.